this Google chat working correctly. Oh, I'm starting a movie by complaining. All right, so just so you guys know, whoever was absent, we did these in breakout groups as a review. All right, just pause the movie and look at those examples. This is how you're supposed to do these kind of thing. And then I'm just going to go into teaching so I don't bore my third hour too much. Okay, so now it's just evaluating the expressions, which is just like 1 through 8, but a couple different steps. But what does this mean, sine squared of 270? It really means sine of 270, and whatever you get for an answer for that, square it. That's all it means. So go ahead and write that down for yourself in the notes. I always like these because it's really not a big deal. It's just knowing a new notation. And really, mathematicians are lazy. They are. They like symbolism and shortening things. And this is just a little cleaner writing it like this than it is like this. So that's really the only reason that exists, being honest. It's the absolute truth. So what we need to do is find out what the sine of 270 is and then square it. And what we need to do is find the cosine of 270. There goes my pen. I love it. And then square it. So I need this. Okay, in the chat, get ready. That's 270. In 5 seconds, what is that coordinate? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enter. Alessandra, that was too quick. All right, and then Sebastian, Carolina, Sydney, Brian, Ethan. Okay, at this point, people could probably be seeing those in the chat. You are correct. You need to select a coordinate for this. This needs to be created, just made up. But it is true. Here is the terminal side. This is coordinate trig, so I need a coordinate, right? So I make that one up. And then, by the way, what's r? Don't put that in the chat. Just like the last one, it's the distance back to the origin. And just like we had a question this hour, r is always positive, no matter what. Okay, so then what's sine? I'm going to do this the rest of the period. Find its so, but there is no triangle. There is no opposite side. There is no hypotenuse. So you got to go to what I told you on Wednesday. Always the opposite side is the y coordinate. Always the hypotenuse will now be called r. So we got to do sir, kicks or ticks, not so ka toa. So in this coordinate trig, like when you have all these questions, at the top of your test, you're now going to write this instead of so ka toa because it takes care of everything as far as both do I have a triangle or do I not? So that's important to put down there so that we get that taken care of. All right, so anyway, sine is y over r. So it's -1 over 1. Cosine is x over r, which is 0 over 1. -1 over 1 squared is 1. 0 over 1 is 0 squared. So after all that, we just get 1. All right, no big deal. So this one, I got to get the cosine of 360, and feel free to either put in the chat a question or just interrupt me if there's something you want to re-see there. So it's the same thing. I got to evaluate this and then put that fraction in here, but I need a coordinate plane for that. 360 right here in the chat. What is this coordinate in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Press enter. Boom, 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 boom. Nice. Love seeing a whole bunch of people doing it. And then really should see all 24 of you in that 5 seconds to be able to put that in there. But it is hard to do, probably writing notes and then trying to go to the computer. And so I do appreciate those. It's like 12 students at least that put 1, 0. If you're not putting 1, 0 and you don't know it's 1, 0, we need to get there. Okay. Cosine's kixer. So it's x over r. Nice. 1 over 1, 1. And then I do need another triangle for this. This is one where there's 2 different angle measures. Real quick, 5 seconds, 4, 3, what is that coordinate? 2, 1. Alessandra. She answered before the countdown. 0, 1, r is 1. And then for sine, don't forget about the 5 times. What's the sine of 90? Y over r, so we do get another 1 over 1. No squaring. Doesn't say anything about squaring. So 1 minus 5 times 1 is -4. So that's only the point of that. And that's how you break it down. So it is very similar to doing these. It's just now in an added expression. What do we end up getting? Okay, so the homework, definitely homework sheet. I just took the same worksheet or the same note sheet and I just regenerated the questions. So you're really going to get almost exactly the same type of questions each part. So hopefully that works out for you. All right, now this is really new notes. This is a completely different question. So this is on page 2. It doesn't really pertain to the unit circle, but it does pertain to coordinate trigonometry. Because we identify a quadrant. It says theta is in quadrant 4, so this is in standard form. So standard position, I mean. So I do have a coordinate plane. That's what I would start off with. Get ready for the chat. And then even after this, someone asked at the end of the notes, how did we know this? Get ready for the chat. Watch how many people know this. You have 2 possible answers. What letter does 2 represent? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Alessandro is ready. Ooh, we have a Y in there, so be careful. We got to know our sir kicks or ticks. This is definitely X. I'm surprised no one put A. I was going to accept A as well for adjacent. Because this is going to be a triangle. So I want you to understand what I mean by this. These questions, there was no triangle. So we have to do sir kicks or ticks. This question, no triangle, sir kicks or ticks. This is a triangle for number 7. So you could deal with adjacent, opposite, and hypotenuse and be fine. Okay? But that's what I mean. You got to be careful. You got to get that sir kicks or ticks down. So this is really the adjacent side. And what's 3 in 5 seconds? What letter does that represent? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Nice. R. Ooh, someone put Y. A lot of Y's. Wow, interesting. No, that's R. Cosine is Kixer. Okay, good. I'm glad that happened. You learned from the mistakes, and that's nothing wrong with that. But then notice what it says. This angle terminates in quadrant 4, which is really what they should say, but they're kind of shorthanded in the direction. So this is X, which is 2. This is R, which is 3. That's why we still draw this, so we just get a feel for what's going on here. And then to find Y, well, this is the beginning of this chapter 2. Pythagorean Theorem is all that we do. 2 squared is 4. 3 squared is 9, sorry. You get Y squared equals 5. Now, remember in algebra, it's plus minus. But then in real world geometry, well, we can't have a negative. But in coordinate trigonometry, you can. And as a fetter of Macht, you do get a negative. So that is the big thing right here. Understanding now that you have coordinate trig, you could certainly have negative sides. All right, so that is the big deal. Now, in the other hour, I did do all 6 trig functions on this. I got rid of find just sine of theta. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Here's answering the question. Sine is y over r. Sir. Again, what I told you. Sir, kixer, ticks. Write that at the top from now on, and hopefully that you get used to that. I feel bad doing that because you just learned SOHCAHTOA as an acronym, but hopefully that's not a big transition. Sine of theta is negative root 5 over 3. We already have cosine theta. I'm going to keep going just for giggles. What's tan of theta? Ticks y over x. So it's negative root 5 over 2. And then all you have to do for the reciprocal brothers or sisters, and we're doing this so you get this hammered down. Cosecant is related to sine, but it's flipped. And then this becomes negative 3 root 5 over 5 through rationalizing. I hope you're good with rationalizing. You just multiply top and bottom by root 5. That's why we spend a little bit of that in the first semester with fractional stuff. Secant's easy. It's just the flip of cosine, which was given. Cosine's 2/3, so secant's 3/2. And then one thing to say about this as I flip cotan or flip tan to get cotan. -2 root 5 over 5. I rationalized real fast. It's -2 over root 5 and then multiply top bottom by root 5. Do notice that this is not, we never found the angle measure. We don't even know what that angle measure is. And it's not a special 30, 60, 90 or 45, 45, 90. These sides are weird and different. So do know that a lot of times in trig they don't even find the angle measure, but they find all this information about that angle measure. So understand how that's completely different than these. I have the angle measure, but then I have to come up with the triangle, knowing what I know about 30, 60, 90s and 45, 45, 90s and quadrantals, number 8. So it's a different structured question. All right. And hopefully we get that. Okay, I think I did this one, and I'm gonna stick to just finding secant. I'm not gonna find all 6. That's time consuming. Actually, is that true? Are we done at 11:20? Can someone put yes or no on that? Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna skip this one. Maybe I'll do it real fast. No time. This is y. No time. This is x. And then this is in quadrant 1. So if I drew it in quadrant 1, how did I know that? Ticks. That's what we know about tangent, our little trick, y over x. And then Ethan, oh no, we had somebody leave. Was it something I said? In the chat, does anyone know what that is right away without the Pythagorean theorem? Now, no 5 seconds. Boom, 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 boom. It's a Pythagorean triple. Sometimes that is nice to know your Pythagorean triples so that you don't have to do, the Pythagorean theorem. So what's secant? I mean, that's it. If you know the Pythagorean triple, I don't need to see the Pythagorean theorem. Kixer, but it's the flip of that. It's r over x. Sorry, x, y, r. And then r over x is 5 over 4. Never even find theta. It's nothing special about it, but we found the secant of theta. Different. Okay, and then this is why this is more direct, and I will be able to do this in less than 4 minutes. I did have 3 of these, but I'm sure you'll be able to find out how to do 14 and 15. So I'll stop at 13. Suppose that theta is in standard position and the given point is on the terminal side of theta. Give the exact value of the indicated trig function. Okay, this is why this is more direct. I should have done this first before those other ones. Because this one is more direct, you can just go ahead and graph it. -10. This is the ones that were drawing the triangles wrong. You do x. I have no idea why I went down. I'm sorry. Y. I want that down there now. And then r. In the chat, does anyone know what the r is? This is actually a family member of 5, 12, blank. And then notice the relationship between that and that, that and that. Does anyone know what the 5, 12 blank is? And then what do I have to do with that blank in order to get the hypotenuse? Nobody? Nobody in the chat's getting the, let's see if anyone gets it without me. Wrong. -10. Ooh, that's this blank, Sebastian. But then what does that make this one? Patrick stole it. Nope, Sebastian snuck it in there real quick. So this is the 5, 12, 13 family of Pythagorean triples. Remember what we had? We had 3, 4, 5, which we had that today. 5, 12, 13 is the second most popular. 8, 15, 17 is the third most popular. Then I think it's 7, 24, 25. You might want to check that one. My brain's a little 7, 24, 25, I believe, is the other one. Top 4. There's actually an infinite amount of Pythagorean triples. Don't go anywhere. Oh, sorry. R squared. And then if you do your math, you will get a huge number that the square root of that is 26. So really, you could see how it's almost exactly like these last two examples. It's just a little different in how it's presented and how you deal with getting your three side measures. X, Y, R, and then sine of theta is Y over R. So sine of theta is Y, 24 over 26, which reduces to 12 over 13. All right, that's why it is part of that family. All right, 6, 8, 10. This is a family member of 3, 4, 5. Cosecant is R over Y. See how fast I did that? Probably too fast. And then if you're at 0, -4, end in the chat. What is R? Boom. R is 4. So actually, no Pythagorean theorem needed on this either. Cosecant is the flip of sine. So R over Y is 4 over -4, which is -1. There, I fit it all in. See you later. All right. It's only 11:19 on mine. Cecilia left first. She was so quick. Boom. All right.